I think probably most people that watch this are adult enough that they won't have any idea what I'm talking about when I talk about SpongeBob SquarePants, which I've never watched an episode of, but in the beginning he plays his notes like a flute, and that just cracks me up. And that has nothing to do with what I'm come here to talk about today. What I came here to talk about today is the little things that we do that we have no idea, we don't think about the way it's affecting a horse, whether good or bad. So when I guess I was 20, because there was the thing with the guy in the place and the judge got involved. So yeah, I wasn't of age, I was 20. I worked for a horse trainer, and he's now a really, really well-known horse trainer. And he kind of always reminded me of Yosemite Sam. But one of the things he said really often was, these people ruin a horse just catching it. And I was 20 and I went, yeah, you're right. And I didn't really know what he was talking about. But then as I got older and I learned more, and I would see things and like, hey, I don't know if you want to do that. That's gonna wreck your horse up. And so that's what I want to talk about today. A friend of mine recently got in a little horse wreck, and she's not hurt too bad, but she got in this horse wreck, and my wife was talking to her about what happened, how'd you get in this wreck or whatever. And what it was she was loading this colt in the trailer, and just as he got to the trailer and was about to step in, instead he ran backwards and pulled her out of the trailer, and when she stepped wrong, blew her knee out. Didn't blow it out, I guess, she sprained it. And that's terrible. So let me give you a little background about this colt, and that'll help explain what I'm explaining here. This colt, he came off the Diamond A. He was a range colt, really nice colt. I halter broke him, weaned him and halter broke him, and then she bought him. She did a fabulous job with all these groundwork. She's a really, really good and really accomplished horsewoman. So she went through all that. I believe Cliff Schatt started him, and Cliff, of course, does a great job. He started good, and then since that time, she's been riding him and training him. And like I said, she does great work. Here in the last several months, she sent him to a cutting horse trainer. And I guess he's a 4-year-old now, I would think. And he's learning to be a cutting horse, and everything's working out. All rainbows and unicorn farts. Everything's good. Everything's working out. But then he did this, and she banged her knee up. And in the conversation my wife was having with her, she allowed that, yeah, he just all of a sudden started doing this thing, I guess, at the trainers, where he'll do that, where he'll just not want to lead into the gate, back into his stall or into the walker, and now evidently into the trailer too, where he just runs backwards of a sudden. And this horse has been in a stall. He's been hauled. There's no excuse. There's no reason for him to start doing this all of a sudden. And it would be really easy to equate, and this is kind of Axum's razor, and I talk about Axum's razor is almost always right, but in this case it's not. But it would be really easy to equate that, oh, he started doing this at the trainer, he doesn't like where he's at being in training there. And I'm more than sure that that's not the case at all. But as soon as I heard this, especially the part about here, all of a sudden he started doing this with the kid, the saddle assistant, and the assistant at the training facility that catches him and saddles him, puts him on the walker. He started doing this all of a sudden. I went, oh, I know what it is. I know why he did this. So the reason this horse started doing this, and like I said, I haven't been around the horse in a couple of years. I don't know this trainer. I don't know the kid that's catching him and saddling him. I've done it. I've done this exact same thing, so I know exactly how this happened. What we have a tendency to do with young horses, when we go to turn them loose, we lead them into their stall or into their pen or in their turnout or whatever it is. We turn them all the way around to their facing us, give them a couple of pets on the neck. We undo our halter, slip it off, hold on to them a second, pet on them again for a second, and then step away. Why do we do that? All of us do that. We do that because that's the safest way to do things. If you just lead them in the gate, and undo them and just let them go. And I call that John Wayneing them, because that's something like a John Wayne kind of a deal. If we John Wayne them like that, we run this huge risk of them, least case scenario, best case scenario, stepping on our foot as they go away. Worst case scenario, kicking us in the mouth as they take off. And so that's the way you should always turn a horse loose. Bring them through the gate or whatever the case may be. Turn them around, pet on them, undo it, and then there's less of a chance that they can wheel and kick you. Even with a super gentle horse, they might just be excited to get turned out and run and play and jump and fart, and they accidentally kick you. So we're all really good about that when they're colts. And there's a tendency that once they start getting broke and gentle and we're not thinking about all these what ifs anymore, that then we just walk in the gate, lead them in the gate, and the gate's to our back. We undo them and go, good job, and turn around and walk off. That's going to cause what this colt started doing every time. If you, and I don't care how broke the horse is, if you do it enough times, it's going to cause this to happen, to where when they don't want to walk into a gate, they don't want to load into the trailer, they don't want to go into the hot walker or whatever, and it's from turning them loose incorrectly like that. So why does that cause that to happen? Well, because it scares the horse, quite frankly. If you turn them loose incorrectly like that, you're gonna scare them. And like I say, even if it's an old broke, good old Dobbin, you can get away with it once or twice because you're lazy, because you're in a hurry, because you just plain forgot, whatever. You'll get away with it a few times. But it's even going to scare old Dobbin, and he might not let on, but it scares him. And then with those younger horses, it takes less opportunity or less times of doing that to really scare them. And so that's where they get to where they don't want to go in the gate. They don't want to go in the trailer. They get there and they go, nah, I don't want to do that. They're trying to keep you from scaring them. They know that the next thing that happens scares them, and they don't want to do it. I don't want to go in that gate because you scare me. As soon as we go through that gate, the way you turn me loose scares me. So it's, in a sense, it is classical conditioning. I guess it's operant conditioning now that I think about it. It's operant conditioning because they're making the choice to not go through that gate because they don't want to get scared. So it's not that the horse is defying you because he doesn't want to go back in his stall, because he doesn't want to go in the trailer, because he doesn't want to go in the hot walker, because he doesn't want to do whatever that action is. It's the next action that the horse has realized you're going to do, and that's going to scare him, and he is making the choice of, I'm not going in there because the next thing that happens scares me. So in the case with the horse I'm talking about, the trailer equated to the same. He'd never been in a trailer wreck in his life, but the trailer equated to the same as the gate to his stall, the gate to the walker. The human equated to the same as the kid that's been catching him at the trainers and turning him loose in a way that scares him. And he walked up there just like he always does. Yep, following the boss, gonna get in the trailer, and he went, oh, there's that thing that scares me, a gate, and ran backwards, and she got hurt. So it's a real easy thing to screw up. But it's real easy to not screw it up. Just always turn them loose correctly every single time for the rest of your life. Never, ever, ever get lazy or complacent, and you won't screw them up that way. Pot calling the kettle black, faux show, because I've done it. I've messed them up that exact same way. And by messing them up that exact same way, one of my mentors said, the only way you ever learn anything is to screw something up so bad you can't figure out how to fix it. And then you figure out how to fix it. And he's definitely right. So I've messed him up doing the same thing, had to figure out how to fix it. Here's how you fix it. Get them broke to lead by a front foot with a rope, and go to leading them out the gate by a front foot with the rope. That, and then back them through lots of gates. Back them through gates, back them through this, back them around everywhere you go. Do a lot of in-hand backing them up. But when you get them broke to lead by that front foot, and get them really sure enough broke to lead by that front foot, and it takes 3 or 4 days before you have them broke enough on that front foot to like load them in a trailer. by a front foot and not by the halter. It takes a little while. So in the meantime, back them through everything. But you get them broke to lead by that front foot, and that's how you fix that deal where you screwed up and got them scared of gait. Whew, that was long and arduous.